Welcome back to A Couple Threads. I'm Heather.
I'm Armand.
Before we get into today's stories, be sure to subscribe for new videos every single Friday. The theme for today is cheating scandals.
Juicy.
Yeah, right? First story today, coming from r/relationship advice, 13 days old, titled, I, 28 female, found a woman's sock in my house after being away for a week, and my boyfriend, 30 male, lied about it. I was away for a week for work. He was off work nearly this entire time, as he works 1 week on, 1 week off. When I came home, my boyfriend had cleaned the house quite extensively. Obviously, not a crime in itself, but it was surprising and a little out of character for him. I usually have to do most of the cleaning at home, so it was very unexpected. He'd even picked up some of my laundry that I'd left in the washroom and living room and put it in the basket. I was surprised, but I didn't think much of it. He started night shifts the day after I returned, and I was working days, so I came home from work after he had already left. I figured I'd spend some time around the house cleaning and getting things done. There's a shop vac that had been sitting outside of our bedroom door for a few weeks that I finally decided to move to the closet. When I moved it, I found a sock just behind it, a small ankle sock, obviously a woman's brand that I've never seen before. I had a bad feeling by this point, but I put the sock on the table by my bedside and continued cleaning, intending on asking him about it when he returned home from work early in the morning. When I asked him whose sock it was, he said he didn't know. He then said he found it on the stairs and thought it was mine, so he put it on the table. But I put the sock there. I doubt he'd even seen it around the house, or else it would have not been behind the shop vac. And if he had seen it and thought it was mine, wouldn't he have put it in the basket with my other clothes when he put my laundry away? I told him that I put the sock there and asked him why he lied about putting it there. He said he didn't have anybody over and he didn't know whose sock it was. I left, got ready for work. He went to sleep. Any advice on how to address this?
That's it? I like that he went straight to, I don't know whose it is.
Well, she didn't even say, is it someone else's?
Yeah, it's like, I don't know whose it is. It's not mine. That's kind of tough. I mean, I know it's hard to determine if a sock is male or female most of the time, but I guess you could tell.
I mean, if it's pink or has flowers on it, I'm assuming.
Yeah. I mean, it's definitely suspicious.
Yeah.
My only thing would be if the sock was behind the vacuum. Like, it could have been there for a very, very long time.
Yes.
Would I go straight to thinking that he's cheating? Probably not, but it is suspicious.
I will say, as a woman who has a lot of different socks,
Yes.
I could tell you what sock is mine and what sock is not mine.
Well, yeah,
Very easily.
because I have the same socks.
Right. But me, someone who has a lot of socks and a lot of different socks,
True.
I could still tell you whether it's my sock or not.
True.
And not to be this person, but in my head, if the vacuum was sitting right outside the bedroom door, things are getting freaky, things are flying all over the place.
Why is it flying?
If you're in a hurry to take it off, I don't know, you're chucking it. That's my opinion.
I definitely understand where she's coming from on this one. It's just very hard to really go straight to the if he's cheating or not, because it can be something else. Not to defend him, but it can be something else.
Yes, but
if it was like underwear or a bra, then that's for sure that's a completely different story. But a sock is like, sometimes, you know what's funny is like, sometimes, you know, we've lived together for this long. we've had like a random sock show up in the laundry
This is true.
out of nowhere.
This is true.
And we're like, where the hell did that came from?
Yeah. My thing about it is she put it on the table and then he magically had an excuse that he put it on the table.
Correct. That is the weird part.
That part is weird.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because I feel like even if you're scatterbrained, you would understand, like, I didn't put that there. Like, I don't know.
Yeah, it's off.
Yeah, right.
It's off. I just don't know what to determine on this one.
No, same.
Is there an update?
There is.
Okay.
I have 2 updates actually.
Okay.
And I do want to get into them before comments because most of the comments happened after the updates.
Okay.
So,
okay.
update number 1. I don't know if I'm supposed to update less than 48 hours after I post, but he woke up. I'm sitting here in my office area doing some work, but also periodically crying and reading the comments. He came into the room and tried cuddling me from behind my chair. I was obviously stiff, and he asked me why I was mad at him. I said that I don't know why he wasn't honest with me earlier about the sock. He said he didn't lie to me. I said I'm the one that put the sock on the table, so there's no way you could have. He said that he meant he had found the sock while cleaning and he had tossed it aside, somehow landing and forgetting it behind the shop vac. He then got super mad, saying that I'm always accusing him of cheating, swearing around and saying that he's not coming on our trip to my parents' house during the summer and that he's staying at the house all summer, and a friend of mine who was supposed to rent the house for work can't stay there because he will be there. I asked him why he was getting so mad and said I'd been upset and I just needed explanation and reassurance from him. He continued to lose it, stormed towards the door and threw his cup full of coffee down the stairs.
Whoa.
Grabbed an old baseball bat that we kept by the stairs and started hitting the step outside the door, yelling that he's not effing cheating. Threw his lunch that he had packed for work all over the steps and peeled off very quickly in his truck.
Okay, that sounds like cheating.
Yeah.
That sounds like cheating.
All I have to say on that is if you're not cheating and you're getting that angry, you just gave her another reason to leave you.
True. True.
Whether you're cheating or you just have anger issues.
Straight like temper tantrum.
Yeah. Anytime there's a baseball bat involved, I'm
Yeah, why is there
scared.
a baseball bat involved?
I'm scared.
Is he a baseball player?
I don't know. And like throwing coffee and food is like,
Yeah,
that's a whole other level. I mean, he didn't throw it at her, but like, I don't really care. It shouldn't be thrown, period.
I feel like with that reaction, he kind of showed his cards a
Yeah.
little bit. Because, call me crazy, but I feel like if you're legitimately not cheating, you wouldn't react that way.
Right. You'd be more trying to reassure, like, no, I don't know where it came from. Like, I'm so sorry. I promise. I'm here for you. You only, like.
Give or take, yeah. Around that.
I-
But throwing the whole tantrum in.
It's either he's very guilty or he has lots of issues, or both.
It sounds like both.
Yeah.
It sounds like both. Yeah, if I were to determine, I would say he would be cheating.
Yeah. Second update.
Yeah. Oh, that was the first update.
Mhm.
Okay, what's the second update?
Second update. We broke up, as a lot of the comments have said to do. It wasn't really about the sock anymore. Maybe I won't ever know what happened while I was away, but the violence in his response was very frightening, and I don't want to be with someone that makes me feel unsafe in my own home. It wasn't the first time I've seen him get that angry either, but it's the first time that he's done something so physical, and I don't want to be involved if it continues to escalate. He's been taking some of his stuff while I've been out of the house, and one of our dogs, which has been probably most upsetting part about all of this. And I have been changing the lock code after each time. I have some friends that live nearby that I've explained the situation to, and they've assured me that I can contact them if I'm ever in an unsafe situation. Thank you to everyone who offered advice, shared their own experiences, or expressed concerns for my safety in the comments. There will be lots of changes in my life coming forward.
Valid. Yeah, aside from like the hypothetical cheating part, the reaction isn't someone you want to be
No.
with.
Especially like if it was literally just a sock, we shouldn't be upset about a sock.
True. Yeah, exactly. Exactly. Yeah.
Comments are honestly like just agreeing with her and saying that it's not cool. Top comment is him being violent and destructive in your presence is abusive behavior, even if it's not directed at you.
True.
And then one comment says, in quotes, "I'm not effing cheating." And then they said, "Well, nobody said you were, but okay, go off."
That's a valid point.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a valid point because she didn't really accuse
No.
him of cheating.
She literally asked, "Whose sock is that?" And then you automatically went to, "She's accusing me of cheating." Kind of
Right.
told on yourself.
Right. Yeah. Yeah.
I mean, people like that, if you just let them talk, they'll always reveal something.
That is true. I've been in those situations where I'm like, I'm just gonna let this person
Yeah.
talk and just shoot themselves in the foot.
And they always do.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah.
Next story today. This one is coming from r/marriage, 1 year old, titled, "I think my husband is having an affair with his stepsister." Just what the title says. I believe my 24 female husband, 24 male, and his stepsister, 23 female, are having an affair. My head is spinning and I don't know what to do. My husband's parents got divorced when he was 15, and his dad remarried when he was 17. His stepmom has one daughter, let's call her Jess, who was 16 at the time of their marriage. They all lived together for about a year and a half before he left for college, which is where him and I met freshman year. Our sophomore year, Jess began going to the same school as us. He introduced her to our friend group and she quickly became a part of it. They always seemed like more friends than siblings because obviously their parents didn't marry until they were older, but they'd sometimes refer to each other as bro and sis. Back then, I sometimes got the vibe that she was flirting with him, but he never returned it and I just brushed it off as her personality and that I was being crazy because no way that would happen. Fast forward to now. We are still living in our hometown and we see each other pretty often. Jess is single and hasn't had a boyfriend for several years. Her and my husband are still very close. When we are all hanging out together, including their parents, if we're sitting on the couch, she will sit right up against him. Sometimes even put her head on his shoulder if he's showing her videos on his phone. I have always found it odd, but again have brushed it off. Of course, they aren't actually related, but it would still be too taboo and weird, so I've never fully let myself have these suspicions. However, over the last 6 months, things have been getting even weirder. Both my husband and I's birthday are in April and only 1 week apart. So, over the last couple of years, we've kind of combined them and celebrated them both at the same time. We had friends and family over, and normally we also receive joint gifts. But this year, Jess got my husband something specific to him. Fairly expensive gaming headphones and watch, but nothing for me. And she also got him a card and wrote a decent amount in it. I didn't get to read it when we were opening things, and then later on, I couldn't find it. When I asked my husband where it was, he brushed it off saying, "Oh, he must have accidentally thrown it out with the envelope." But the envelope was still with everything else on the counter. They've been texting a lot more, and she's also been talking to me less. Remember, her and I have been friends for the last 5 years as well. Sometimes I'll see texts from her pop up on his phone screen, and there will be hearts and heart eye emojis. This will be while he's holding it, and he'll unlock it pretty fast, so I've never really been able to see the full message. If I ask her to meet up or hang out with me, she's always busy. But if it's her coming over to our home to see both of us, she never says no. He also has been going to see her more often, which is kind of complicated detail because she still lives at home with her mom and his dad, so he just tells me he's going to hang out with his dad for a bit. But I have a feeling it's for her. Him and I have also been way less intimate lately. Neither of us have ever had a super high sex drive, but we've always averaged at least once or twice a week. But now it's about twice a month. What's pushed me over the edge is when we all got together this past 4th of July. We were at my father-in-law's house for a big cookout pool party. While we were in the pool, she kept hanging on him from behind. Picture him giving her a piggyback ride in the water, splashing him and being very overly playful, etc. I kept thinking in my head I was crazy because maybe after all these years, they really do have a sibling-like dynamic and she's just messing around. But I also caught her staring at me when my husband and I were being very close. She looked angry. Now, cut to the worst of it all. When we were all done with the pool, we went inside to change. I was with my husband in our room, and right in the middle of us changing, she came in without knocking, randomly asking if she could borrow my hairbrush. My husband didn't have any clothes on. I was horrified and said something like, "OMG, you need to knock first." She seemed unfazed and lazily covered her eyes, saying, "Oh, whatever, he's basically my brother anyway." My husband seemed kind of embarrassed, but also not as much as you'd really expect in that situation. She left like it was nothing. Since then, she has barely spoken to me at all, and I am absolutely spiraling throughout all of this. Am I being crazy? I haven't said anything to him yet because I am so scared to be wrong in this situation. And then I'm just accusing him of sleeping with his stepsister. I need others to tell me if they agree with what I've been seeing or not.
No, she's not overreacting. I mean, the main giveaway is her walking in on him naked, and there's no sense of like, whoa, sorry, I don't care. Like, I don't have a sister, but if I did and she were to walk in on me, I'd be like, get out. Yeah. Like, that's not a...
Yeah.
To me, like I said, I don't have a sister, but to me, that's not normal to do.
Yeah. She should at least have been like, "Oh my gosh, like I was not supposed to see that." Like, not just like, "Who cares? He's like my brother." Like, that's not...
I mean, I hate assuming without evidence, but like based on what she's saying,
Yeah.
there's definitely something going on. Because in the end, like, if you're blood brother and blood sister, like, there's a sense of closeness you can have. That I understand. But if she's a stepsister and they've known each other, what, like 5 or how many years was it where they got married? Like his
Let's
parents
see.
and her parents?
He was 17 when they got married, and he's 24 now.
Okay, so 7 years.
Yeah.
That's still, like, to me, not enough time to be really that close to someone like that.
I agree.
And as taboo as it is, if there's something going on, in their heads, they're like, well, we're not blood related. As gross as that is,
Yeah.
they're technically not blood related.
And I feel like, too, part of the justification in that can be like, well, we didn't even grow up together. You know what I mean? Because it's one thing if you're
Right.
step siblings, but like you've been in each other's lives since you were 2 or 3, as opposed to like he was almost an adult. They only lived at home together for a year. Like,
And that's my point, is like you said, they didn't grow up together. They've only known each other for like 7 years or so.
yeah.
And to me, that's not enough time to walk in someone naked and not be fazed by it.
Right. Right.
So there's definitely, I
Yeah.
would say, something going on, and
think
she's
so,
not
too.
overreacting.
No, I don't think so either. I think all the other things could have been brushed off. But definitely, honestly, if you walk into a room and someone's naked, you should have a reaction, especially if it's your family.
I would say more so if it's your
that's
family.
what I'm saying. Like, I don't know. I
Like,
don't
I'm
like
sorry,
that.
but if I had a sister and I walked in, I'd be like, I'm gonna need to drink.
Washing my eyes.
Yeah, I'm gonna need to drink that night.
Yeah. The other thing I don't like too is like, I'm trying to justify in my head why any stepsister would have any reason to be sending heart eye emojis. to their stepbrother. Like I'm trying to sit here and think of like reasons why that would be valid, and I really can't.
That's like aside the point, because I've met people
That just
where they just use a lot of emojis,
Yeah.
like naturally, and they don't mean anything by it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But I totally get what you're saying. I think it's more so the combination of everything.
Yeah,
Her
for
being
sure.
like
Super
touchy,
Yeah.
like in the pool, like
Yeah.
piggyback, right? Like if you're like a young adult and you have a sister that's like, I don't know, 6, 7, and you're doing it, okay, that's a little
Right.
bit different story.
Even I feel like even if they are close in age, but like they did grow up together, I feel like even that's still kind of
It's still creepy
It
to
is,
me.
it
Like
is,
if you're
but
two
it's-
adults.
yeah. If you're like both 10, it's one thing.
Okay, yeah, if you're
Yeah.
like kids,
Yeah.
yeah. But if you're pushing like your early 20s and stuff, like
Yeah, it's weird.
yeah, it's definitely
Yeah.
off. She's not overreacting.
No.
I'd be
very
concerned.
confused.
Yeah.
Top comment is, if I were in your shoes, I'd ask to look through his text messages together with him sitting right next to you, if he'd prefer. Don't explain why. You could offer for him to look through your text at the same time if he'd like to. He shouldn't have anything to hide. And if he does, that's your answer.
Yeah.
I understand that. But also,
Would that be your answer though?
I mean, if I asked you to look through your phone and you told me no, that is my answer. Because that's what I'm saying. Like, if he doesn't let you, then that's your answer.
Yeah.
But
would that, if he said no to that, would that answer her question that something's going on with him and his stepsister? That's my question.
regardless, you have something to hide.
You have something to hide, exactly. But is it?
It doesn't
is
matter
it-
at that point if it's your
Sure.
stepsister or someone else.
Yeah, yeah.
My issue with that though is, one, people who are cheating like to be sneaky about it.
Yeah.
2, if it is your stepsister, I feel like you're gonna be extra sneaky about it. So I feel like
being sneaky though.
no, but I feel like if there were text, he would be very cautious to delete them. Because like
Sure.
people finding out that you're sleeping with your stepsister is a whole situation that you don't want people to know.
Yeah.
It's not just that you're cheating with your stepsister. You know what I mean? So I feel like you never been in that situation, but I feel like you would take the extra precautions to kind of cover your tracks if there was like text messages.
I feel like, and this
Oh,
is gonna
dear.
be gross.
Oh no.
But I feel like to them, it's kind of like a fantasy.
I mean, yeah, a lot of people have that.
Right. And they're like, oh, we're actually in this situation. And yeah. Yeah.
Icky.
Mhm.
Icky. I don't like it.
Is there any updates or is that just it?
There is, but it's really not anything important, to be honest with you.
Okay.
The first one just is saying like, I made this post hoping for validation, but it's actually worrying me more because people are validating me.
Well, yeah.
I'm trying to keep it together and act normal around him best I can. Tomorrow he says he's going over to his dad, so I plan to show up and see what's going on. And then there's another update saying, I did go to his dad's house on Saturday. A lot has happened since then, and I haven't been on my phone much. When I get time later, I will post a full update. But there was never a full update posted, so.
In a weird way, I feel like her best approach should be to talk to the dad. It's his dad, right?
Yeah. But do you think they would know? I don't know.
If something weird is going on, I feel like you could sense weird in a household. Like, you'd be like, you know what? They actually are
A little too close.
They've been like alone in their room for like a few hours every time they're here. Like, now that
Now that I
you
think
mention
about
it, like, you know what I mean?
Yeah, I just don't know if that would be like a definitive answer.
No, it wouldn't be, but it would just create a little bit more validation. I mean, she has validation.
Yeah.
She's, you know.
I just don't know if there's anything that like, besides one of them like coming clean, that would like fully ever give you your answer. Because otherwise
Unless
it's
it's his
always
phone.
just going to be suspicious.
Yeah.
Yeah, but then like I said too, if she checks his phone and there's nothing, that can also
There's
like,
always-
that's still not like
There's gonna be
1,000%.
There's
Yeah.
gotta be something.
I don't know. Guess we'll never know.
Yeah. Yeah. Icky.
Very icky. Next story is coming from r/relationship advice, 2 years old, titled, I, 22 female, found out my family is hiding my fiance's affair with my best friend. How do I confront my family, fiance, and best friend?
Yeah.
I, 22 female, need some serious advice on how to navigate any of this. I found out a week ago that basically my entire family has been helping my fiance hide his affair with my best friend. I created this account because I honestly have no one to tell this story to. So my brain figured out internet strangers would be best. None of my family and friends have read it, at least I don't think so. For emotional context, me and my fiance have been together since 8th grade. I do apologize if this is a little long, but it's a lot to unpack, and I just want to refresh myself with everything so I have all the evidence in front of me, as well as figure out the way to confront everyone, my family, best friend, and my fiance, with at least some dignity. Here are some names for context for everyone involved. Richard, my half-brother, is 26. Maria is my half-sister, 27. Angie is my mom, 56. Peach is my best friend, soon to be ex-best friend. Alex is my fiance, soon to be ex-fiance. So, a week ago, Alex was taking a shower and had left his phone on our bed. Me and my fiance have an open phone policy, seeing as we've both struggled with getting cheated on in the past. Go figure, seeing my situation. I was packing my suitcase for a family trip that is happening after our rehearsal dinner tomorrow. I heard his phone keep going off. He yelled from our shower that I could mute his phone. I went to get his phone and saw that it was Peach calling him. I was curious at first, but she is a part of my bridal party, so I didn't find it too suspicious. I muted the phone and soon messaged Peach from my own phone. Here's a paraphrase of our conversation. Hey Peach, my fiance is in the shower right now. What did you need? She said, oh, nothing, LOL. Just wanted to confirm with him the flowers for your bouquet in the aisle. Me, that's weird. I didn't change my mind on flowers or anything. The florist was contacted last month and everything was already paid for. Peach, are you sure? I remember him telling me that you changed your mind. After that, it was usual wedding talk after that point. In hindsight, I should have found it very weird that she would call him about 6 times just to confirm a flower choice when she simply could have either texted me or texted him.
Yeah.
When Alex got out of the shower, I told him Peach tried calling him about my flower choices. I asked him what made him think that I changed my mind on the flowers for the wedding. He paused for a bit. I know now he basically was stalling and doing the, oh, I'm thinking face when I had asked. He then said that he thought I had mentioned it in passing during a dinner. I told him I didn't recall that at all. He then just shrugged and grabbed his phone and went back to the bathroom. I hate to be one of those people, but for once, my gut actually sunk. I got this really paranoid feeling and I just couldn't shake it. I tried to convince myself that it was just old cheating trauma trying to creep back, yet I just couldn't let this go. Me and Alex had dinner and I pushed through all the way until it was time to go to bed. I pretended to fall asleep first. Me and Alex usually cuddle to fall asleep. When I knew he was in a deep enough sleep, I went to go check his phone again. I checked his Instagram, Snapchat, and messages, and I couldn't find anything. I then went to Facebook Messenger. He has Messenger to communicate with his family overseas. I only saw his main family, and most of the messages were about getting plane tickets to come for the wedding. We were supposed to get married in December with a Winter Wonderland themed wedding. However, with my previous relationships, I checked his archives on Messenger. That's when the horrific truth came to light. There was a group chat with Peach, Alex, Richard, Angie, and Maria. The group chat was established a year ago, where basically Alex and Peach confessed to having an affair to my family.
Not the group chat.
Yeah, with her whole family.
That's bad.
My mom did shame them at first. Yet, she later asked Alex, did he truly love Peach? Because you can't help who you love. Yeah, really great, Mom. That was super helpful. He said he was absolutely sure and that he also loved me too. Then Maria and Richard offered that he, being Alex, bring up to me an open relationship. They are both in open relationships and married, and apparently it's working for them in whatever la la land they live in. At this point, me and him were already engaged. Alex mentioned to them that it seemed too far deep to try and bring that up. Angie, my mom, even though at this point I don't want to call her that, said that they would cover for Alex and Peach until he felt strong enough to bring up an open relationship to me. As I was reading, all I could think was, how in the actual world would my family betray me like that? How could Peach betray me like that? We've been friends since kindergarten. We even grew up with Alex. How could she process in her mind to have sex with my fiance and that she loves him too? All of this in a disgusting group chat. For Alex to have the nerve to say he loves me as well? For him to know firsthand what it's like to be betrayed like this? I honestly want to vomit. However, I was just taking screenshots after screenshots. The more I read down, I found out that Peach took my spot on our previous family trip. I got a really bad stomach bug a while ago that caused me not to go. I can't even begin to imagine what they did on that trip. And the fact that my mother was okay with all of this, I think that's what hurts the most. The fact that she's known for an entire year that my fiance was cheating on me. That's taking the longest sit in, I feel. There is more to the group chat, but these were the major points. I've known for a whole week it's been eating at me inside, and I want to explode and cuss them all out. I want to ruin their lives the way they ruined me. It all hurts so much, and I really just want advice on how to confront them. How do I begin? What do I say? The anger I feel is so intense, I just feel like I need to let it all out. I would look insane if I did. Please, Reddit, anything will help. I'm planning on confronting them tomorrow at our rehearsal dinner.
Whew.
I know.
Man.
A lot to
The
process.
amount of betrayals.
No, literally.
That's like 3. Your fiance, your best friend, and your family is all in on it.
At once.
That's nuts. That is nuts. I don't know. I'm trying to put myself in that situation.
No, same.
And I just feel like I would just leave everyone and just...
No, literally. I think I'm crashing out at that point.
Yeah, like at that point, I'm starting a new life in Thailand or something.
No, literally. For real.
That's crazy because, like, it's, you know, you hear those stories where it's like their best friend and their significant other. It's like, unfortunately, not that that's common, but it's not crazy at the same time, you know. Betrayals happen, especially I feel like within friends too. Yeah. Betrayals happen, but the fact that like your mom and her siblings are involved too, and they knew for a year. Yeah. Like, God forbid that was my situation, and I knew something. Like, I'm telling them that night.
No, literally.
You know what I mean? Like.
Yeah.
And naturally, I can't keep something in. So, I don't know what to really suggest for her.
No, literally.
I would say go out with a bang and post screenshots of the group text message at the rehearsal.
Yeah, honestly, yeah.
And just deuces.
Just be like, F all of you, goodbye.
Literally.
Have fun at the wedding. Like,
literally.
Yeah.
I hope you guys enjoy your life. Like.
Yeah. It's just... It's so hard for a couple reasons, because when this situation happens, if you find out your fiance is cheating on you, as a girl, there's one of 2 people that you want to go talk to about it. 1, your best friend. 2, your mom. And that's like so insane that you can't go talk to either one of them about it because they're both involved.
Does she have a dad? Because I didn't hear about a dad.
There was no mention of the dad. So
yeah, so I'm assuming there's no dad involved.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's also like the mom saying, I'm going to give you time until you figure out how to bring it up.
That as an open relationship, though, not like, hey,
I've been sleeping with your best friend.
Yeah, like you screwed up, you have to confront her. Yeah. But it's like, oh, you should mention an open relationship.
Even if it was like, hey, you messed up, you should confront her. You have approximately 3 days after to do so. A whole year.
Fair.
He had time. Yeah. He had the time. And the thing that I hate the most is that he said, I love Peach, but I love my fiance as well, as if she's the second one. Like, awful. Absolutely awful. Jail.
Jail. Straight to jail. Yeah. Right away. I mean, I really don't. I feel really bad for her. I really don't know what to suggest. Is just really go out with a bang and just cut your ties. Yeah. It just sucks cutting ties with... Like, I feel like in this situation, if the mom wasn't involved, you could cut your ties with your fiance and your friend.
And go with your mom, yeah.
Exactly, and you still have your family. But now it's like...
Who the hell is, like, on my side?
Yeah.
No, I mean, I think, honestly, you had a good idea. Do something nuclear a little bit, and then...
At that point.
Literally move to a different country. Like, if not a different country, a brand new state, a brand new city. Like, get away from all these people and find a new circle, because...
Would you ever forgive your mom for that?
No. Yeah. Because, I mean, granted, I don't know how close they are. I'm so close with my mom to the point where, like, we talk about what we ate for dinner. Yeah. Like, you mean to tell me you're going to tell me what you had for dinner and you're not going to tell me that my fiance is cheating on me? Fair. Like, as a mom, I don't have kids, but as a mom, you should always have your kid's best interest in mind.
Always, yeah.
Always. And, like, she clearly doesn't. Like, the fact that she's referring to her by her first name, I think, is kind of funny. Yeah,
true. Well, I mean, at this point, it's like you're the same as everyone else now.
Oh, it's just so awful.
Is there update?
No.
Okay. Well,
there's a couple comments, but
what's the
nothing.
Comments?
Top comment is make an exit plan. Get your ducks in a row and just disappear. Yeah. I think you should post pictures and screenshots in a slideshow at the rehearsal. Yeah. And then it says, after that, block and ghost everyone.
Legitimately, that's if I were in, knock on wood, if I were in that situation.
You would never be in that situation.
I know, I'm just saying, if I were ever in that situation, I would do something very drastic.
Yeah, and then just disappear.
Then just dip.
Yeah. Create a whole new life for yourself.
Yeah.
Change your hair. Do something. OP does respond to that comment and is like, yes, I'm mad, and yes, I want the earth scorched. However, I also want answers. I don't want to just disappear without at least some closure.
But there's no answers.
There's
like,
no answers.
You have your answers.
Yeah.
It's not like, is it happening or it's not. Like, you have
clear-cut
messages, and people involved. Like, you don't need more answers. That's it.
And it really shows you, like, who is on your side, you know, because what? You need answers from your mom of why didn't you tell me? She's going to come up with excuse after excuse after excuse. At the end of the day, she had a year to tell you and she didn't. There's nothing you can do at that point.
That's a lot.
I know. I'm sorry. A lot to take in.
Yeah.
My apologies. The stories are today.
That's up there with the stories.
I know. I'm sorry.
If it was, like, not the mom involved and just, like, her fiance and best friend, I'd be like, okay.
At least she has her family still.
Yeah, screwed up situation, but still.
Go find some new friends, girl. And new family.
I don't think
new family at that point.
At that point, I wouldn't have friends anymore. I'm just like,
like, I'm good by myself.
I can't trust my best friend since kindergarten.
Yeah, looks like I'm going to a deserted island all alone, all by myself. I'll figure it out.
Animals.
Yeah.
Like cats and dogs.
Perfect.
And a ferret.
We can move on.
Okay.
Not sure if this next story is going to be any better. My apologies.
It's okay.
Next story, coming from r/relationship advice, 4 years old, titled, I am completely lost because I just found out my 42 male, wife, 36 female, of 12 years has been having an affair from the police who called me in for questioning involving the assault of her lover. Ready?
Continue.
I don't know what I'm doing right now. I don't know if this is the right subreddit or even if I should be posting this at all, but I don't have a clear mind and I just need some direction. I've been married to my wife for 12 years. We have an amazing 11-year-old son. Until last night, I thought we had a good marriage. I thought I was always really good to her. We have no money problems, no intimacy problems, and I have never ever taken her for granted. I always wake up every single morning and thank God she is my wife. I am so lucky to have her. Now, I don't know what to think. I got a call from my local PD as I was getting off work yesterday. They asked if I could come to the police station as soon as possible. I panicked. I asked if something had happened to my wife or my son, but they said not to worry and just to get to the station ASAP. When I got there, they put me in a room with some table and chairs. They asked me my name, which I gave. Then they started asking all these questions about a guy that my wife works with. I haven't seen or spoken to this guy literally since December of last year at my wife's company Christmas party. The two officers kept asking me things like, how long have you known and how did you find out? The only answer I could give was, what are you talking about? After about an hour of this, I just stopped answering their questions and kept asking where my son and wife were and if they were safe. We just kept going around and around until about 2 hours on and off because they would periodically leave the room for 15 to 20 minutes, then come back and start it all over again like some cheap cop show. The last time they came in, the cop handed me a tablet and showed me a video of my wife and the guy from her work having sex. I don't remember much after that. I just remember screaming, "What the F is this?" over and over again. I had a full-blown panic attack right there in the middle of the police station. The police had a paramedic check me out. They said my blood pressure was something like 170 over 110. He wanted me to go to the hospital, but I refused and said I needed to find my wife and my son. After I calmed down, the officers explained that the guy in the video had been having an affair with my wife and apparently several other women. He had been found that morning in his driveway, beaten and set on fire. He was still alive, but in critical condition, and they don't know if he would make it. His wife had given them permission to go through his phone and his computer, and that's when they found that video of my wife. They asked me where I was that morning, and I told them I was at the gym. Then I was at work about 10 minutes away from my gym. At that point, they said I could go, but that I might not want to stay at my house because they didn't know if his affair with my wife could be why he was attacked. They also said my wife wasn't the only person he was having an affair with. That's when I rushed home. My son was staying with our neighbors, so I got him and we went home. We packed some clothes and his laptop for school. I grabbed my gun and we headed for my parents' house, 45 minutes away. I still haven't heard from my wife at all. Her phone is going straight to voicemail. I've called the officer who gave me his card, and he said that she is at the hospital with the guy she's been cheating on me with. I am sitting here in bed with my son on one side of me and my gun on the other. My dad is sleeping in the chair in the living room with a shotgun across him as well. I have not slept in over 30 hours. I don't even know where to start. Anything would be helpful right now. I am in a fog. I am spiraling.
Plot twist, he did it.
I mean, that's what the police want to assume, I think, but...
I mean, based on the face value of this story, that's nuts. Based on the face value of this, obviously, the other guy had an affair. He had multiple affairs, but he had an affair with the completely wrong person. And the husband beat the crap out of him and set him on fire, which I would understand why the cops would question him because heat of the moment.
Right.
I understand why people would
But
do
like,
that.
what an insane way to find out.
I'm just surprised they would show a video of them getting it on.
Yeah.
I feel like that's like I feel like they would show that in court. But I guess I understand why now, because they would want to see a
His reaction,
reaction.
yeah.
You know,
because if he sees that guy and is like kind of chill about it as if he knew or
not
something.
chill, but like, yeah, as if he knew about
Yeah.
like an affair that was going on.
Right.
You know, they're used to seeing like reactions and, you know, of people who know what's going on and or completely oblivious of what's going on. But finding out that way is a different level.
That's like traumatic. like not only do you have to see it, but you're finding out at the police station. Like because he was like beaten to death pretty much. Like that's just insane.
I don't know.
Yeah. There's nothing you can
Nothing you can do. It's there. There's a video proof.
Yeah.
Just leave.
My thing is like, okay, I understand that the wife was having an affair.
Okay.
No, listen. You mean to tell me your husband just got questioned for 2.5 hours at the police station, being suspected of murder, and you're at the hospital with the guy you were cheating on him with?
Fair. Okay.
Like,
fair. Agreed.
Like, I don't know. Like, a little crazy.
But is it a possibility where she thinks her husband did that and she's scared to confront him because now she knows that he knows, and she's like, what if, like, hypothetically she thinks he did that, and now it's like, if she goes to him, he might hurt her. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I do understand.
Because if someone's gonna beat the crap out of someone that's having an affair with his wife and set them on fire, who knows what he could do to his wife.
And that's valid, but I think, like, she had to have known that he had no idea it was going on. And I feel like it was more of, like, shame of seeing him after he found out rather than, like, suspicion of, like, he might have done it.
Yeah. Or it's like, how do I actually face him? Because now he knows.
Yeah. That's just...
Please tell me there's an update.
So there is, but...
I hate when you say it like that.
I'm honestly not going to go into it. It's super long. Nothing all of importance other than he was trying to get custody of the son. Oh. She didn't like that.
I'm sorry.
Yeah,
you don't like
there's
it.
nothing really like further in depth about the affair or like the police or anything. It's more of just like what happens after the fact.
Right.
And like obviously he's leaving her. Like he says, for the record, I will never get back with her.
Well, yeah.
Our marriage was over the moment she cheated on me. And then it goes in like he finds out that the son was kind of being abused by the wife and like just a whole lot of other things that aren't, I don't want to say not relevant because poor kid, poor baby, I understand, but nothing that's super relevant.
Did the guy survive? We don't know.
I think so.
I gotta look this up later.
Yeah.
See if he survived.
Like I said, the update is very, very long. I think so. From what I'm seeing.
What are comments?
Comments are honestly just like feeling really sorry for the kid. Yeah. Especially after the updates were posted because there was talks of mom abusing the son.
Right.
And so a lot of people are just really sad for the kid that not only he had to see his mom cheat on his dad like that, but then his dad's being questioned for murder, and then and then on top of that the abuse stuff comes out, and then protective orders, child custody, like it's a lot for an 11-year-old to have to deal with.
Yeah, agreed.
So honestly, comments are mostly talking about the kid. Yeah. What a way to find out.
Yeah, that's up
What a way. move on a little bit.
Okay.
This one might be hopefully a little lighter.
At this
Hopefully.
point.
All right. Let's see. This one coming from r/relationship advice, 10 years old.
Wow.
Titled My 29 female girlfriend, 27 female, of 4 years, just told me that she's pregnant. ... I'm a woman, so it can't be mine. But she swears she didn't cheat.
Wait. They're both women.
Yeah. So,
It's a miracle.
immaculate conception.
Yeah. It's a damn toilet seats.
Oh dear. I'm still in shock, so bear with me. My life feels like a soap opera right now. Here's some background. My girlfriend, Anna, and I have been together for 4 years, with intentions of getting engaged sometime this year. To clarify, we are 2 women in a relationship. I am a lesbian, always have been, but Anna is bisexual and has had some serious relationships with men in the past. This has never been an issue for us because we love each other and have a healthy, stable relationship. But now, as you can imagine, I'm second guessing everything. What went down? In the last month, Anna had been complaining about putting on some weight, particularly in her stomach area. Anna is thin and athletic, so the little belly she developed was very noticeable. She had been going to the gym more, starting eating healthier, more than she normally does. We didn't notice any improvements, however, with her weight loss. But I told her it takes time and she will eventually lose the weight. Pregnancy was never ever crossed my mind, for obvious reasons. Last week, she started really freaking out about her weight gain. So she scheduled a doctor's appointment. She had the appointment yesterday afternoon and afterwards called me at work and told me we needed to talk. I could tell that she had been crying. I am freaking out at this point, thinking that she is terminally ill or something. I start tearing up, asking her to tell me what's wrong, but she insists on we meet at home. I leave work immediately and get home to see her sitting on the couch. Her face is puffy from crying. I'm shaking and tears are streaming down my face. I ask her about the doctor's appointment and what's going on. She can barely get the words out throughout her tears. She tells me she went to the doctor and they told her she is 13 weeks pregnant. I stop crying, but my brain is trying to comprehend what in the world she just told me. All I could say was, "What?" over and over. She is still sobbing, saying she is confused as she has no idea how this happened. I never have really seen her in a state like that. She seems genuinely upset and confused, but then again, so am I. As I started registering what is going on, I ask, "Did you sleep with someone?" And she only starts crying more, swearing on her life that she didn't sleep with anyone. So I'm like, "But you did. You're pregnant. There is no way that you didn't cheat on me." To which she replies, "I have no clue how this happened, but I swear to God, I didn't sleep with anyone. You have to believe me." We go back and forth for 30 minutes or so, both of us still confused. I told her I needed to think, so I called a friend and spent the night at his house. I've been talking with friends, and everyone is confused, but agreeing the only answer is she must have cheated on me. I keep playing over our conversation in my head though. Like, if she knew that she had slept with a guy and she could be pregnant, why would she go to the doctor? Why wouldn't she have just gotten a secret abortion or a Plan B pill just in case? Like, she could have gotten away with this if she was a little smarter. Maybe I'm being foolish here, but it genuinely seemed like she had no idea why she was gaining weight in her stomach or that this could even be a possibility. A couple nights, we talked at length about possibilities why she was gaining weight in that region, and pregnancy never crossed either one of our minds. I'm also playing back the potential date that she could have cheated on me, considering she is 13 weeks along. We live together and have similar work schedules. We both work 9 to 5 jobs, and if I'm thinking of the right week that this could have happened, there is nothing that stands out of the ordinary to me. There weren't any late nights or suspicious activity that concerned me. I feel like I'm driving myself crazy, and I feel like I can't trust her. She's been texting and asking if we can talk, and I told her I need some more time. I want to believe that she is telling me the truth, but I can't think of any reason how she could be pregnant without sleeping with someone else. But it's all so confusing given the situation. So, Reddit, what are your thoughts? Does my girlfriend have a case of lesbian immaculate conception, or am I being a fool for doubting and believing her that she might not have cheated on me? How do I handle this situation?
I mean, logically, there's only one way to get pregnant. So,
There's been one person in all of history that has not had to do
True.
that to get pregnant.
Exactly. But I mean, it is what it is. Like
Yeah,
what else would it be? There's
right,
no other explanation.
right. I mean, like, yes, and I'm not saying there is another explanation, but I do find it fascinating that, like, if she knows that she cheated on you with a guy, wouldn't that be your first thought? Like, oh my God, like, I need to take a pregnancy test, like, before I go to the doctor.
No,
Right?
I mean, she's really doubling down, but also, as OP mentioned, she could just not be as smart. You know, sometimes people, not everyone knows how to avoid pregnancy.
I mean, yeah, but
But she's really doubling down, which is
yeah.
kind of crazy, in a sense, believable.
Yeah, because that at that point that's your out to be like, I am so sorry, like here's what happened. Like this is your chance to own up to it and then you might be able to work something out with your girlfriend. But like doubling down and saying like, I don't know how that got there. Like there's no coming back from that.
My only other theory would be that they went out and she was roofied. But based on what OP is saying, is they worked the same schedule and there's nothing
they were home.
out of the ordinary.
Yeah.
Right.
Unless she got roofied at 12 p.m. on a Thursday, which I'm not saying isn't possible. It is possible, but
I mean, other than that, I can't really think of anything else.
yeah. I don't know. It's just like, as a girl, if I'm feeling nauseous, if my stomach hurts, if I'm feeling like I've gained any type of weight, even if I know there is zero possibility, my first immediate reaction is to take a pregnancy test.
Yeah.
And I feel like that's like most girls are wired that like if anything is happening stomach wise, whether we're gaining weight, whether we're nauseous, that's our first go-to before, like that's the first thing we rule out before anything else.
Or maybe she purposely didn't do that so OP could believe, like, look, I really didn't know, because that would have been my first.
Yes.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. Do you think like the girlfriend maybe took a pregnancy test and knew, but was like trying to find a way to say something? So she like, I'll go to the doctor. I'll see what's wrong. Like, I don't know.
It's possible. It's possible. Where she's like, I legitimately did not know because I would have taken a pregnancy test. But like, there's no other explanation. Like, like, I don't understand. Like,
there's literally nothing. Comments are obviously agreeing with us.
Yeah.
The top comment is, you just answered your own question. You can't just magically get pregnant. She's in a relationship with a woman who can't get her pregnant. The only answer is he slept with someone else.
Yeah.
And that's just
a guy.
Yeah. But that's how it has to be. There's literally no other explanation for that.
Any updates?
Mm-mm.
No. Yeah.
But I mean, it's
clear cut.
Right. At that point, you either decide to leave or to raise this baby that's not yours. So
I mean, at first you got to figure out the truth too, because she's really
you can't just double down for the rest of your life.
Yeah, exactly. She's really like egging it on.
That's what I'm saying. Like, you have the perfect opportunity to be like, here's what happened. I'm sorry. How can we move past it? And you're literally still like, I don't know how this baby got here. I have one more story for us today. Shouldn't be as crazy as the others, hopefully. Can end on slightly lighter note.
Okay.
This one is coming from r/relationship advice, 7 months old, titled Wife, 28 female, cheated on me, 31 male, because she thought I was cheating on her. What rules do I need to put into place if we stay together?
Oh, man. Classic.
Yeah, right? We've been married for 6 years now and been together for 8. I thought everything was going great and our marriage was strong. Apparently not, because last weekend I accidentally stumbled upon proof that my wife was cheating on me. I just happened to come home early from work and my wife didn't know I was home. I hear her on the phone talking to some guy about what she wanted him to do to her in graphic detail. I let the conversation go on for about 25 minutes and recorded her on my phone. Wife tells the guy that she's about to leave the house to go meet him. She leaves the kitchen and walks into the living room and instantly realizes I heard the entire conversation. At first, she claims she was talking to her best friend who wanted to meet up for some drinks. I played the recorded conversation on my phone. She breaks down, starts crying, and begs me not to leave her.
Of course.
I am very furious at the point, so I tell her I need some space and need to leave. She won't let me leave and threatens to harm herself if I do. Then I ask her who the guy is. She tells me it's a guy that works for her dad's company. I ask her if her family knew. She said no. Then she said the only reason she cheated was because she thought I was having an affair with our babysitter, which was an insane accusation. Our babysitter is an 18-year-old girl who lives on the street. My wife had hired her and is the only one who communicates with her. I don't even have her phone number. My wife claimed that she found blonde hair in our bed, and my wife is brunette. She claimed that the babysitter dresses inappropriately whenever I'm home. Wife also claims she found the babysitter in my closet when she came home. I explained to her that it's all in her head and she needs some serious help if she believes that. In the last few days, I decided to stay in my house. Wife keeps saying that she wants things to go back to normal. She's even tried to initiate sex multiple times, but I've declined. I honestly don't even want to look at her. The only reason I'm in the house is because it's my daughter's birthday this week. I don't want my daughter's day to be ruined because of our drama. I basically need to decide if I stay or if I divorce her. If I stay, what rules do I need to put in place for her to follow? The reason I'm leaning towards staying is because I want my daughters to have both parents at home all the time. Also, the house is in my wife's name, along with the cars.
Damn.
My wife is a stay-at-home mom without an income. I talked to my friend who's an attorney, and he said I would most definitely lose the house. My wife would end up with custody of both daughters. My child support payments would be north of $2,000 a month, along with spousal support too. My friend also told me that the jurisdiction we live in doesn't favor the fathers very often. I've already talked with my close friends and received advice. I would like some outside opinions and guidance from people who don't know us. What rules do I need to put into place to make sure she doesn't cheat on me again?
Sometimes I just hate this system. Now, I understand that. Why the hell is the house in her name?
That's what I'm trying to figure out, especially if she has no income.
Unless, like, her parents
Gave it to her
or whatever. Yeah. Fine. Chances are...
Cars, too?
It just sucks. Like, she's the one committing adultery, number one. And in the end, and I understand the house is in her name. Okay, forget the house. It is what it is. But, like, the fact that you have a chance to lose custody of your kids because she committed adultery, that you have recorded.
Mm-hmm.
And second of all, who hires a babysitter off the street?
She's a neighbor. She's not off the street.
You said on the street.
Yeah, she lives on their street.
Oh, on their street.
They didn't just find some random woman.
That's my bad. It made it sound like they found the babysitter and you said she lives on the street.
Anyways, that's Yeah,
Oh,
but
man.
if
I got it.
okay.
That's my bad.
I don't I don't think you find a babysitter just on the
That's what tripped me out. I feel like, oh, they found the babysitter on the street. It's like, oh, she's super cheap.
dear. Yeah,
And
because
when
she
you
has
say,
different type of services if that's
yeah,
the case. Oh my gosh.
because it kind of validated when she said that she was in her closet looking for her clothes. And so I was like, oh, okay, then.
18-year-olds just like to do that. Okay. Anyways.
Okay, moving on from that. My bad. Okay, so she's not on the street. She's living on their
Yes,
street
yes,
in a house.
yes.
Got it. Um, but in this case, you say what you're gonna try to enact rules, so she wouldn't do it again. Like that's not gonna happen.
Yeah.
She's gonna do it again eventually. Doesn't matter how many. Like we talked about this before. Doesn't matter how many rules you enact. It's gonna happen again. More than likely.
For sure.
I mean, in this case, you just leave. Like, yeah, you're gonna lose the house. I would say the main battle is going to be being able to have custody over your kids. Is it one kid?
Two.
Two kids. Mm-hmm. So over your kids.
Yeah, I think there is like another option. I don't think it's stay and put rules or leave completely. I think if you're trying to stay for the kids, not for your wife, it's a matter of we can co-parent, we can still live in this house together, sleep in different bedrooms.
No.
That's better than saying everything's fine, but here's rules.
Well, yeah, but I would say
because then you're at least in a situation
because
of like
kids are going to notice, hey, why is mom and dad sleeping in separate rooms?
I mean, yeah.
And they're like strangers to each other. They're going to notice that.
Yeah. But it's also like it does stink because as we know, housing and rent is super expensive these days, and he's saying that he's going to be paying $2,000 a month in just child support. Plus, there's spousal support if she's a stay-at-home mom.
Spousal support is nuts.
Yeah, if you're the only income provider for the house and you leave her, that's a thing.
Like hot take. This is why it's super tough for guys because can you imagine you're the breadwinner, she cheats on you, and you still have to pay her.
Yeah. And she still gets custody of the kids.
Yeah, chances are she gets custody of the kids.
Yeah. No, that's insane. I think there needs to be like guidelines is like if there's any infidelity involved, spousal support goes out the window. Like
and I mean I don't know the laws regarding that. I'm sure it varies like state by state.
Probably.
But I would say most of the situations are that.
Unfortunately. And it stinks too, because like, you know, it sounds like he cares for his daughters. He wants to spend time with them. He wants to provide them a good life, but like he's in a situation of like, do I choose my happiness or my kids' happiness right now? Like
yeah. I mean, unfortunately, in this case, I feel like he has to be a little bit selfish because in the end, it's not going to be fair for him.
No,
like I get it, like as a dad or as a mom too. But you sacrifice for your kids, but you have to be a little bit selfish in this case and leave.
Yeah.
And hopefully you're able to still see your kids.
It breaks my heart too because I know how a lot of women are in that situation where if he does leave and mom has to now explain this to the kids, 9 times out of 10, she's not telling them the truth. Like, I was cheating on your dad. So then he also looks like the bad guy in that situation because whatever lie she comes up with is going to be it was his fault.
Well, he does have recording though.
I mean, yeah, but like, I don't know how old the kids are. You're not going to, your 7-year-old, like, listen to how your mom was talking. Like,
yeah, at that point, she could say whatever she wants. Maybe when they're older and they really want to know the truth.
But even then, it has to be a situation of like they come to you because
Yeah.
if
Yeah.
you just go to them with that information, even if they're 30, they're gonna look like, why are you trying to get me to hate mom? You know?
I mean, to me, it's like it's proof that like
I mean,
this is
yes.
what it is. I'm not trying to
Right.
have you, but they would have to go to him and be
Yeah.
like, what actually
Right.
happened?
That's what I'm saying.
And for me, I would be like, do you really want to know?
Yeah.
Because it's a lot.
It's gonna reset everything.
Yeah.
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 Top comment is your wife didn't cheat because she thought you were cheating. She
Yeah.
cheated, and when got caught in the lie, she blamed it on you.
Correct. Yes, that was obvious.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that's just insane. Like
It's like I'm gonna quit because I know you're about to fire me.
No, literally. Like yeah.
Crazy, man.
Yeah. That's all I have for us today. Sorry, today was a little bit of a heavy episode.
Yeah, that was a lot.
Yeah.
But crazy stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Thanks for watching.
Thanks for watching, guys. Be sure to like and comment your take down below and give us your thoughts. And of course, we have a new episode every Friday, so be sure to subscribe and see those episodes.